Sirens blared as cops slapped cuffs on Tilly right in the depot. Roger Vance watching with a smug grin that made my skin crawl. "Keep your mouth shut or you're all done," he hissed, shoving cash in my hand. Yesterday, the yellow bus was hauling kids. Now, Marcus's grandma's begging for a grandson's safety. Who's behind this mess? Roger's shaking now, but what the hell did we do? 6 months back, I tossed sour crawlers to kids on my yellow bus, their grins warming me up. Tilly, our head driver, checked routes, making sure Marcus's grandma's stop was good. Roger, with that smug grin, slashed routes at a board meeting, blaming budget crap. I bought his act but felt off. Tilly hinted he had it out for her since she fired his wife years ago. At her place, she showed old schedules, hinting at some shady plot. "We're those kids' lifeline," she said, dead serious. Doubt hit me, clutching a candy wrapper. At the depot, Tilly fired us up, voice like steel, swearing to fight Roger's cuts. I nodded, handing a sour crawler to Sarah, who looked freaked. Kyle, flashing a slimy smirk, ratted our talk to Roger, acting loyal. Tilly warned Roger's cuts hid a privatization scam. My yellow bus rumbled past Marcus's stop, his grandma waving. I was torn, trusting Tilly but scared of Roger's pull. At the coffee shop, Tilly pointed to Roger's emails, hinting at his grudge. "No way we let these kids suffer," she vowed. I gripped my keys, doubting we'd pull it off. Roger's cuts hit like a truck. Kids like Marcus missed school, stuck in rural nowhere. Tilly rented a van, loading it with sour crawlers, her defiance on fire. I drove my yellow bus, gut sinking as parents yelled. Kyle, with his slimy smirk, handed me Roger's memo blaming us drivers. Sarah whispered Kyle logged our gripes in his notebook, a fey, out making it seem he'd help. Tilly's eyes narrowed, smelling Kyle's betrayal. Marcus's grandma called, desperate for her kids' education. "Roger's hiding something," Tilly said, clutching her keys. I slammed my fist on the dash. Parents swarmed the depot, signs screaming for routes back. Carlos muttered, "We're screwed." I yelled, "Hell no, we fight." My voice cracked, wondering if Kyle sold us out. Tilly's van crapped out, leaving kids stranded. Roger, with his smug grin, pushed more cuts at a board meeting, ignoring parents' pleas. I gave Marcus sour crawlers, his eyes dull, chest tightening. Kyle, with that slimy smirk, slipped me a fixed schedule from his notebook, pretending to help. Total BS. At Tilly's house, Andrea Chen, our paralegal buddy, dug up Roger's safe transit contract, some sketchy privatization outfit. Kyle eavesdropped, scribbling notes. "He's spying." Tilly snapped, not backing down. Marcus's grandma rallied parents, but I was scared we'd lose. I kicked a tire. Parents chanted Tilly's name, blocking the street. Sarah whispered, "What if we get fired?" I growled, "We bust Roger first." My pulse raced, dreading his scheme would bury us. Cops nabbed Tilly for unlicensed transport. Roger's smug grin flashing on the news. I clutched sour crawlers, humiliated, as parents glared at the depot. Kyle, with his slimy smirk, offered a bribe to shut me up, waving his notebook like a threat. I shoved him back. Andrea found safe trans, its fake safety records, tying Roger to kickbacks. Martha wavered, tempted by Kyle's cash. At the coffee shop, Marcus's grandma sobbed, saying Marcus skipped school. Tilly, out on bail, rallied us. "We ain't done." Shame burned, and I slammed the depot gate. Parents screamed for justice. Carlos handed me a flyer, muttering, "This is war." I ripped it up, yelling, "Roger's toast." My gut churned, wondering if his lies would win. Roger's safe transit buses broke down, kids stranded, his smug grin haunting TV. I tossed sour crawlers to Carlos, who hid his fear. Kyle, with his slimy smirk, sabotaged my bus's brakes, his notebook tracking our every move. Andrea showed Roger's emails promising Kyle a promotion for snitching. Marcus's grandma brought parents to Tilly's, demanding action. Tilly planned a walkout. Sarah hesitated, citing bills. I was pissed, smashing a chair. Parents stormed the depot, signs blaring "Save our kids." Martha whispered, "Roger's untouchable." I snapped, "No, we'll wreck him." My hands shook, rereading Andrea's proof, dreading Roger's next play. Kyle's sabotage killed my bus, kids freezing. Roger's smug grin flashed on a safe transit ad. I gave Marcus sour crawlers, his grandma cursing Roger. Tilly exposed Kyle's notebook, framing us as reckless. Andrea found Roger's bank records, hinting at bribes. Martha rallied, but Carlos feared layoffs. Tilly slammed her fist. "We strike tomorrow." Humiliation stung, and I kicked gravel. Parents waved signs outside. Sarah yelled, "We're with Tilly." I tore off my badge, roaring, "Roger's done." Shame burned, picturing Kyle's slimy smirk, fearing his lies would win. In the boardroom, Tilly faced Roger, his smug grin cutting deep. "You're fired." He barked, waving Kyle's notebook as neglect, proof. I gripped sour crawlers, pissed, as parents packed the room, murmuring. Tilly slammed Andrea's bank records, calling out Roger's kickbacks. Kyle, with his slimy smirk, lied, saying Tilly faked them. Marcus's grandma yelled, "Liars," sparking parent chants. Roger laughed, "You're done." I screamed, "You're the crook." Fists clenched, heart pounding. The board wavered, bought by Roger's lies. Tilly stood tall, swearing, "We'll shut you down." Parents waved signs outside, amplifying our fight. I wondered if we were screwed. At the depot, Tilly led our mass walkout, tossing sour crawlers as we parked our yellow buses for good. Roger's smug grin faltered on TV, blaming us. I shouted, "You gutted our routes." Carlos and Martha joined, fury driving us. Kyle, with his slimy smirk, waved his notebook, claiming we endangered kids. Andrea slipped me Roger's contract, proving safe trans, it's scam. Marcus's grandma rallied parents, chanting Tilly's name, signs up. The board called an emergency vote, but Roger's cronies stalled. Tilly grabbed my arm, whispering, "Keep pushing." I was livid, kicking a crate. Parents banged on depot gates, demanding justice. I roared, no backing down, fearing we'd lose it all. The boardroom exploded as Tilly exposed Roger's contract, voice like iron. Roger's smug grin twisted, yelling, lies. Kyle, with his slimy smirk, waved his notebook, accusing sabotage. I tossed sour crawlers to Marcus, roaring, you sold our kids out. Andrea showed bank records, but the board shot us down, swayed by Roger's pals. Marcus's grandma cried, parents booed, buses idle. Tilly's shoulders slumped, whispering, we tried. I smashed my fist on the table, gut, punched. Parents stormed the hall, chanting justice, signs blocking exits. Carlos yelled, Roger's a fraud. My heart sank, knowing his scheme held. Could we break him? At Tilly's place, Andrea dug up Roger's wife's HR file, showing Tilly fired her for stealing Roger's grudge. His smug grin hid that hate. I gripped sour crawlers, hope sparking, as we planned to leak it. Kyle, with his slimy smirk, left his notebook at the depot, a fake, out hinting he'd flipped. Martha found safe trance, its forged logs proving bribes. Marcus's grandma spread the file online. Tilly swore, he's done. I tossed a candy heart racing, wondering if we'd take Roger down. The leak blew up online, parents flooding the depot to back us. Roger's smug grin cracked on TV, denying safe transit ties. I handed sour crawlers to Carlos, fear gripping me as Kyle, with his slimy smirk, leaked Tilly's arrest record, a smear. Andrea found safe trance. Its CEO was Roger's cousin, a twist exposing deeper rot. Tilly rallied us, we got him. Marcus's grandma led a protest. I tossed a candy, pulse pounding, scared Roger's threats would crush us. Roger's cousin confessed to safe trance its fraud, tanking his scheme. His smug grin vanished at a hearing. I tossed sour crawlers to Sarah, hope surging, but Kyle, with his slimy smirk, leaked Tilly's record, a last ditch smear. Andrea's files proved Roger's bribes. Marcus's grandma's protest grew, parents chanting. Tilly stood tall, we won. My fear faded, gripping my bus keys, believing our fight paid off. Was Roger really done? At the depot, I held Marcus's thank you card, relief washing over me. Roger's smug grin was gone, his scheme busted. Tilly pinned the card, teaching me to trust the community. Marcus's grandma hugged me, her strength echoing ours. We're tougher, I said, clutching the card. The yellow bus gleamed, our fight symbol. Kyle's notebook, now evidence, showed betrayal's cost. Andrea's legal push united us. I swore, never bowing again. My heart steadied, hope rebuilt. At Tilly's, I taped Sarah's thank you card to my locker, victory pumping. Roger's smug grin haunted nightmares, but our win buried it. Tilly handed me a sour crawler, teaching grit. We saved the kids, she said. Marcus's grandma's protest showed collective power. The yellow bus stood for trust. Kyle's notebook, seized, proved his treachery. Andrea's briefs strengthened our case. I gripped my keys, saying, we fight as one. Unity beat greed. At the coffee shop, I pinned Carlos's thank you card, relief grounding me. Roger's smug grin faded, his corruption exposed. Tilly shared a sour crawler, teaching perseverance. We saved the routes, I said. Marcus's grandma's rally showed guts. The yellow bus meant victory. Kyle's notebook in court sealed his fate. Andrea's work united us. I clutched a card, vowing, we'll always stand up. Community outlasted greed. Roger faced charges, his smug grin gone, courts banning him. I gave Marcus sour crawlers, triumph blazing. Tilly got reinstated, running our depot. Marcus's grandma led parents cheering, slamming Roger. He's toast. I said, fist raised. The yellow bus shone, trust back. Andrea's legal win sparked community posts. Kyle's notebook got him fired. Routes returned, kids safe. Thank you cards screamed victory. Kyle's trial kicked off, his slimy smirk gone, facing jail. I taped Martha's thank you card, contentment settling. Tilly drove, kids cheering. Marcus's grandma's fundraiser restored faith. We're back, I shouted, tossing sour crawlers. Andrea's evidence crushed Roger's cronies, getting online love. The yellow bus roared our grit. Parents clapped, honoring us. I gripped my keys, saying, our legacy. Greed couldn't break us. The board restored routes, Tilly's yellow bus leading. I pinned Marcus's grandma's thank you card, triumph surging. Roger's smug grin was history, safe transit scrapped. Carlos tossed sour crawlers, parents cheered, locking in our win. Andrea ousted Roger's pals, earning trust. Unstoppable, I said, slamming the bus door. The yellow bus stood tall, service reborn. Forums hyped our fight, inspiring others. Tilly retired, passing me her keys, her smile warm. I hung a parent's thank you card, contentment grounding me. Roger's smug grin erased, conviction final. Marcus's grandma's fair, kids tossing sour crawlers, rebuilt community. Family, I said, firing up the yellow bus. Andrea killed safe transit, cheered online. The bus hit rural stops, trust restored. Kyle's notebook, shredded, marked his ruin. Parents waved, honoring us. A year later, I drove the yellow bus, kids laughing as I tossed sour crawlers. Tilly's legacy lived, her photo on the depot wall. Roger's smug grin was shunned. Marcus's grandma gave a thank you card at a picnic, pride contagious. Kept us whole, she said. I gripped the wheel, contentment strong. Andrea's fund shielded workers. The bus passed Marcus's stop, trust solid. Our story trended, pushing resistance. At the barbecue, I handed sour crawlers to drivers, contentment anchoring me. Tilly's yellow bus, a monument, stood proud. Roger's smug grin a shame. Marcus's grandma pinned a thank you card saying, heroes. I vowed, keep fighting. Andrea's law protected drivers, hyped online. Kids ran past the bus, trust unbreakable. Our story fired up towns. I started my route, heart full. At an assembly, kids gave a thank you card, cheers echoing Tilly's fight. I tossed sour crawlers, contentment deep. Roger's smug grin a lesson. Marcus's grandma unveiled Tilly's bus plaque. Our strength, I said, gripping the card. Andrea's union grew, praised online. The bus passed kids, trust alive. Our fight sparked protests. I parked, vowing Tilly's legacy. At a town hall, I gave sour crawlers, contentment warming me. Tilly's yellow bus drew drivers. Roger's smug grin a disgrace. Marcus's grandma's card said, backbone. I taped it up, vowing, always fight. Andrea's laws shielded workers, hyped online. The bus passed parents, trust reborn. Our stand fueled rallies. I gripped Tilly's map, legacy alive. At training, I shared sour crawlers, contentment steadying me. Tilly's bus sparked oaths. Roger's smug grin a scandal. Marcus's grandma's card said, hope. I pinned it, vowing, never stop. Andrea's law passed, hyped online. The bus passed kids, trust unbreakable. Our fight fueled campaigns. I gripped the wheel, heart full.